Well, we having a technical difficulty with
Why is
this.
that?
I didn't hear. I
Oh,
don't.
you know that?
I didn't hear anything.
Oh man, ain't that about nothing?
Yeah. So you're probably gonna have to explain to the audience what was
Yeah.
going on there.
All right. Yeah. So, man, why you didn't say nothing?
Look, I'm trying to go with it. Maybe I'm thinking it's me. It's on my part, but yeah.
All right, y'all. So, hey, y'all, welcome. Today's show is the Who Am I series, and the show is about the ego. That little clip right there was about Giannis. Whenever he said that he has one of the best, the newscaster said he had one of the best blocks in NBA history now. And he asked him, and the news reporter asked him, has he ever went back to watch that clip of it? And he told him no, he never have. He said because that's in the past. And he said whenever whenever they live in the past, it's all about their ego. And so, like I said, that's today's show. That's what we're gonna get into today about the ego, and then we're gonna talk about the ego versus pride. All right. So before we get into it, I guess we got to introduce ourselves. I am Anthony Hubbard, the host and the owner and founder of Speak to My Heart Life Coaching. And if you don't know what a life coach is, man, I can't even tell you. No, I'm just playing. It's like one of them fun jobs you're supposed to have. No, life coaching. Well, actually, I'm gonna tell you about what Speak to My Heart life coaching is all about, and that's all about holding you accountable, to help you reach the goals that you have set for yourself. And I'll help you peek into the window of your own heart and soul a bit because others can inspire you, but ultimately the only thing that empowers you is what lies within you, and learn how to better utilize what you've been given. And that's what Speak to My Heart life coaching is all about. I'm trying to empower you to do and be better than what you have been, and probably some people don't even recognize what their worth is, and that's what we try to do at Speak to My Heart Life Coaching. So I'm gonna turn it over to my co-host, Miss Stephanie.
Hey, Stephanie Hollins Passmore here. I am a marriage and family therapist, provisionally licensed mental health counselor here in the beautiful Pacific Northwest. I am the solo practitioner for the Narrative Shift Counseling and Consultation. And, I always say, like, it's so hard to explain what I do. I mean, it's hard for me to articulate, but, I counsel, I facilitate healing. I help those, that come to me in creating their narrative, like that perfect narrative, in which healing and recovery can and does occur. So I guess I specialize in breakthroughs. So, yeah, that's what my focus and my work is, my calling. So, yeah.
Give them a whole different narrative, huh?
Hello.
So we talked about in the community page on Facebook. If you're not part of it, please go ahead and join it. We have been. The question that we asked this past week was: we have all been in a situation when we let our ego cloud the judgment of a relationship, employment, or pursuit of improvement by reacting to fears rather than good intentions. So the question was: how have you, or do you challenge your ego problems of pride, assumptions, and fear? And so we had came up with three different topics, and so we had 7 people who responded with they like to pause and reflect, and they question, and by doing that, they just basically question themselves as to why did they do or behave or say or to react the way they did. So the pause and reflect method. Our next one was solution focus. So they'll try to identify strategies that worked in the past for the same or similar issue. And then our last topic was the practice of prayer or meditation. So they basically go and seek intervention. So we just gonna talk about those 3 things right there, and what do those things really mean? Whenever we start talking about pause and reflecting. So I guess we'll start off with you, Stephanie, from a counseling perspective. What does that pause and reflect look like?
Pause and reflect, just to kind of step away, have that outsider look, as to Well, first, you're having to really identify what that issue is. So it's just, it doesn't reflect just looking outside, you know, taking in perspective from someone else. So just kind of recognizing.
And I would say on the coaching side, whenever I think of pause and reflect, it's pretty much the same thing. But whenever you reflect on something, of course, on the coaching side, I don't try to deal with the negative stuff. I'm not gonna, well, let me take that back. I'm not going to say negative. I'm going to say past stuff. So I'm always looking towards the future and how we're going to better ourselves from whatever happened. So whenever I say pause and reflect, just like this says, what did I do wrong, or the choices that I make, what were they? And then we'll move on from that perspective from there. So that's, I guess, the coaching / counseling perspective of it.
Yeah.
So we'll move on to this next one on solution focused. What you got for that one?
It's what it is. Solution focus is identifying strategies that has worked in the past, and it's kind of like, checking with what has been familiar and understanding, like, if it's not working for us systemically, then we should change up the strategy. It's finding a solution. Yeah, pretty simple. Finding a solution.
And the thing is with these strategies, and I don't know how many people was in school and then they took all those different courses with all the different strategies that's out there. But of course, there's a bunch of them, and depending on what person you probably speak to, they probably speak to say this one right here is better than this one or whatever. But there are solutions that's out there for you, and sometimes whenever you don't know what those solutions are, that's whenever people that's in our line of work are here to help you out with.
It's people realizing, like, with even with parenting, right? Like, we're not there we can't be in every place that our kids are in. So oftentimes to come up with a solution or work things out, like, we have to allow our kids to, like, fall and bump their head, right? It's like with everyone, we have to fall and bump our head to actually realize, like, a different choice or a different way of being or change behavior. We first have to fall and bump our head. So.
And I will put up the last one, which is practice prayer meditation, basically seeking intervention. And, actually, I was kind of taken back because I always thought more people would have said that they were do more practice or meditation by any of the other ones. So I was kind of taken back by that one.
So they said they do that more. They put that into practice more, or they.
It was like it was time for the bottom. Yeah, the biggest one was to pause and reflect.
Take a step back. Yeah, so you were baffled because because people tend to run to God first or run to somehow fix their own issue, or.
Well, with this one right here, that practice prayer meditation, it was the lower of all three of them. So I was taken back, but because I would have thought that most people probably would have picked that one as like their number one choice of doing something. Most people put the pause and reflect on there, meaning they just kind of question themselves about it and then try to move on.
But we are talking about ego. So ego keeps us from reaching out. Ego says you have the capability of taking care of self. That I know it all, I can do it all. So of course we're not going to go to a higher power because we feel like we are our higher power. We know ourselves. We know what we're capable of, or the delusion of these high capabilities. So of course, ego is going to kind of stand in the gap, create that barrier for us to seek out help.
Stephen, why are you sitting up here trying to tie all this stuff into the show? Huh?
That's what I'm here for.
Golly.
The little wing person. Yeah.
But, so whenever we just sit and think about what our ego is, I mean, how and this, I'm gonna just throw this one. This is a curveball for you, but what would you say ego? I mean, if you had to give a scenario or something.
I would define ego, if I just created my own definition. It would be self-absorbed, like a delusion. That we are like this superior human being, superpower. It would be we would defy all odds, defy all problems, dilemmas. So ego is like the inability to look outside of ourselves. What's the definition? What you got?
No, I mean, I think that right at the end, that right there summed it up. The inability to look outside ourselves. We hold ourselves at a higher standard. Well, I'm not gonna say we hold ourselves to a higher standard. Some people think more highly of themselves than probably what it truly is, and that probably is what brings a whole lot of discord, fear, anxiety, and all the other stuff whenever we start looking at about ego, and especially dealing in relationships, dealing in friendships or whatever. One of the things this past week, I was teaching my employment class, and that was one of the things that I had to tell people. I said, man, how do you like rejection? And most people don't like rejection. I said, well, whenever you're looking for employment, guess what happens? Somebody gonna tell you no. So what does that do to your ego? Mm-hmm. It's gonna break you down because you sit up there really thinking, hey, I know I'm qualified for this. I know I can do a good job. But then when somebody tell you no, you can't, that's a big blow. And it kind of brings over into the pride thing as well, because now you hurting me. Not only are you hurting me mentally, now it's what I'm portraying out to other people. And so, yeah, so I think you hit it on the nail with that one right there. I don't agree with you a lot, but I agree with you on that one.
I think ego is very similar to confidence. It's just confidence 2.0, like, so yeah, that can get us into some trouble, but yeah, it's our inability to look outside of us.
Okay. Yeah. So our viewers on here, I see we got a few viewers on here. I want y'all to comment on here. Tell me what is ego to you? And then as you telling us what your definition of ego is, we want to know, how has your ego been a stepping stone? Well, when we say, how has it hindered you, or has it hindered you in some type of way, as far as a relationship or as far as getting employment or anything? Want to hear from the viewers.
Well, Anthony, do you think that ego is something that we ourselves just create, or like we create that own delusion for ourselves, or do you think we get help from others?
I think it's a little bit of both. Sometimes some people have hyped us up so much that we start believing it, which goes back to one of our previous series. Mm-hmm. And then other times, our ego can kind of let us down because we don't have the confidence or whatever to move on. So I think it's a little bit of both.
Yeah, so I can blame other folks and not blame myself.
See, here we go. That right there is a whole different show on who to blame, and all that other good stuff. Because I think, especially in our society now, we always looking to blame somebody else before we ready to point the finger on our own selves.
I like the way that you put, if you go back to your initial post, talking about ego gives a swollen head, while pride gives a swollen heart, a big head gives a big headache. where the heart gives humility. So maybe ego is the inability for us to really have that balancing act between confidence, humility, capability, skill set.
Yeah, because we're too busy trying to focus in on ourselves.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I think I've heard somebody refer to ego as a mindset of like just being like, ego is kind of motivated by like our like emotion. It's motivated by like the outcome. Like ego is really that like sensing like that instant gratification.
Yeah.
So yeah. And I think we let ourselves down with ego when, you know, we get disappointed or we experience that humility when the outcomes don't come out as we would like it to. It doesn't doesn't profit us anything. So yeah.
So and then I think that's where the pride comes in at right there. We do have one comment in here, Miss Ann Wise. Thank you for joining today. And she mentioned, to her, ego is an exaggerated sense of self-ability, worth, etc.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, and I think we all totally agree with it. And sometimes you have to wonder, where does it come from? And like you had mentioned, some are self, and then it's others because somebody probably projected some or said something to you that make you figure that you were bigger than what you are. So, you know, I think we all have it, but how do we hold it in check though?
Well, you know, when we're talking about, does it come from ourselves or does it come from others, you know? And I think from like a clinical background, you know, I work with clients that have dissociative identity disorder. Most people would familiarize that with like multiple personality, but people that who have experienced trauma will create these alter egos, and it's a protective capacity for just being in reality, being with other people. So it's like this alter ego or this alter that comes forth that has the confidence that you know, that has the skill set to just really deal, to like socialize and to function in the world. So trauma, I think trauma can be an avenue for ego.
I think you call it liquid courage too. You know, people start getting a little hooch in them, and man, oh man, watch out now. That alter ego pops out of there real quick.
Yeah, yeah.
I'll raise my hand. I've been there. So. Hey,
you know, I don't drink. So what's that stuff in that purple bag?
It's called Waukesha.
Oh.
Yeah. Everybody always worried about what's in my cup.
Just worry about what's in your cup. I think that's how I go. I don't know.
Well, you know what? I'm glad, and I hope you continue to remain that way of not knowing what's in other people's cup while you sitting over there drinking on that. But we good. We good.
Yeah.
So the other portion of this that we wanted to jump into was whenever we started talking about that ego versus pride thing. And now I'm gonna try to play this video again, and I would like for you to tell me if
with
it really is.
Please. With sound, please.
Yeah.
With sound. Okay.
All right. Let's see here.
Did we get a comment there?
Oh yes. Let's see. I'm not sure. It just says Facebook user on here, but it said I like it. I look at ego like cookies and the need to always be right. Okay.
Okay.
Hey, I don't know why they're gonna put cookies in there. I feel like sometimes I'm the cookie monster, but.
Okay.
Hey, you can't go wrong with cookies, all right?
No, I was referencing R. Kelly, but okay, we go.
Hey.
You know what? Let me put this disclaimer out here. Moranthony is not responsible for the things that may come out of my mouth. This is not scripted. We don't do scripts. We just go with it.
Hey, that was on Rebrand This.
Oh, what was that?
The R. Kelly series.
Oh, what?
Oh, cockiness. Hey, you know what?
Wow.
Thank you for clarifying that one right there for us.
Thank you. Cockiness? Okay, Maranthony.
All right. Yeah, let me see if this video gonna play here.
Okay. With sound.
Wanted to ask you too, the comment you made about ego. I mean, you're 26 years old, and I've covered plenty of players who didn't seem like they figured the ego part out until their 30s. I mean, who taught you about why that's important, and to handle it that way?
I think I'll say life. Usually, let me tell you this. Usually, when from my experience, right? Like when I think about like, oh yeah, I did this. I'm so great. I had 30. I had 25, 10, and 10, or whatever the case might be. Because you're gonna think about that. Oh, we want this, that. Usually, the next day you're gonna suck.
Right.
Simple as that. You like the next few days you're gonna be terrible. And I figured out like a mindset to have that like when you focus on the past, that's your ego. I did this. We were able to, beat this team 4-0. I did this in the past. I won that in the past. And when I focus in the future, is my pride. Like, yeah, next game 5, I do this and this and this.
Right.
I'm going down. That's your pride talking. Like it doesn't happen. Like you're right here, and I kind of like try to focus in the in the moment, in the present, and that's humility. That's being humble. That's not setting no expectation. That's going out there, enjoying the game, competing at a high level. And I think I've had people throughout my life that helped me with that. But that's a skill that I've tried to like kind of I say kind of like perfect it. Master it, and it's been working so far.
Yeah.
So I'm not gonna stop.
You're doing okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay, then that was Carlos right there. So thanks, Carlos. Hey man, thanks for tuning in. Oh, Stephanie, she wanted to say something about your show earlier too.
Oh yeah, I was just saying like how it all tied in with today's show and like how you were talking about how things just tend to align when when you feel like it's God's message and confirmation, and yeah, that all just plays into the ego and feeling confident and secure in your assignment when being obedient to God without an understanding. That's like mastering the art of mastering that, balancing that confidence and that humility and obedience.
Yeah, and I tuned in as well on there, and I thoroughly enjoyed the show myself, which I normally do. So I really can't say anything bad about it. But whenever you really started talking about how you had, like Stephanie said, how you had to let go of everything, and then whenever you did move over there, it wasn't about you anymore. And so for one, congratulations to you and the family with the move and everything. But then also, he had also put on there, I think you had already got off, but he started talking about him actually becoming dedicated and letting his ego go from the simple fact of, if I only have one viewer on there, or if I have 30 viewers on there, or 100 viewers, I'm still gonna go out here and I'm gonna maintain and do what I got to do. And so that right there, hey, you know what? One, it takes a lot to admit that, and especially put it on camera to say, look, I'm here and I'm gonna continue doing this. Hey, good up on you, man.
Yeah. Awesome, Carlos. Yeah.
So we got another comment right here. Ego is actually a part of everyone's personality. What it is that balances it so that it does not become overbearing. Oh, okay, I'm bad. What is it that balances so that it does not become overbearing? Is it another part of the personality or life experiences kicking that booty?
I think a little bit of both.
Yeah.
When we talked about that protective capacity of like creating altars for ourselves, it is a part of the ego, the psyche. You know, for Floridian, you know, we're all born with that. It is a personality trait. And it is a combination of life experiences. It's like, you know, what people feeding into us, you know. So, yeah.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I think it's a little bit of both myself. Let's see if we have any more comments here. All right, none right now. I did look up the definition, and actually it was funny because whenever we started talking about the ego versus pride thing, I was like, man, I think I wrote about this on one of my posts before, and I did, and I went back to it, and after I looked it up, and it said the two definitions that I did find for that word, pride is a feeling of deep pleasure or satisfaction derived from one's own achievement, and the other is consciousness of one's own dignity. So the first definition to me represents pleasure, joy, delight, and gratification, while the other one meaning self-esteem, dignity, honor, ego, and self-worth. So whenever we start talking about that word pride, yes, it's depending on how you're looking at it, you know, it can go either way. And I think it all depends on one, you know, if we look at leadership, if we look at pride, ego, and leadership and stuff, well, since knowing you have those two ways of looking at it, are you a servant leader or are you a self-fulfilling leader? And even in that, you know, it goes more than just leadership. It goes, you know, just from your person. What type of person are you? Are you looking just to fulfill self, or are you looking to fulfill and help somebody else out? So, you know, whenever we look at both of those things, looking at ego and pride, they really go hand in hand with each other. But it's all about keeping both of them in check.
Yeah, I was reading somewhere where like a difference with ego and pride is like it's what you inspire to be. Like some people who say ego is like aspiring to be somebody, or you can versus aspiring to do something. It's all like in being task oriented. It's all in like what you're needing from someone or from the experience, whether like recognition, to be an influencer, to be, you know, matter expert, you know, subject matter expert, or it could be is that in you being able to fulfill your purpose, to fulfill your calling, action, education. So it's kind of like wrapped up into like, what is it that you're trying to accomplish to kind of separate that ego from pride?
You know, and what you just mentioned, I think everybody, even though, you know, like Anna mentioned, I think everybody have their own ego. Everybody have, you know, a certain pride about themselves. But I started thinking about people in the preachers that do mega churches. You know, some people, they'll get up and then depending on who that person is, and I'm talking about not the person that's actually up there, but the people who's out there in the audience or whoever's looking at it, you know, they gonna judge a person regardless. So, you know, some people gonna be like, oh, well, that person's up there because of pride. And while the other person might not be like, no, I don't think it's pride at all. I think it's pride in the simple fact that they care about everybody else, and then they're looking to provide information to other people, while other people be like, no, their ego is so big that that's why they on the main stage up there, and they out here doing this and they doing that because they want that attention.
I think it's like a skill set. That's just a skill set. Like you get up there, I mean, however you get the message across, it's a skill set. So the ego, I guess, steps in when you kind of like edge out God, you know, just in perspective of like church. But when you get up there and think it's all you who's doing this and that, yeah, that they need to humble themselves.
That's why I like that one right there. Let's see. Carlos had put on there, thank y'all. Yeah, we have to remove our ego when you've been called to an assignment, because it's actually turned into a servant to whatever or whoever you've been called to. And that's the biggest thing. And with that one right there, because I was been reading this book that you gave me, that you told me about.
I recommend it. Okay.
Yes. And it says
what's it called?
ego.
What's it called? You got to put it out there. We got to give props.
How to serve? Oh, you already got it right there. Lead like Jesus, yes. So it said ego.
Mm-hmm.
It means one or two ways, depending on who you are. It could mean edge God out, or it could mean exalt God only.
Mm-hmm.
So with them two right there, what is the ego? What are you basing yours off of? And I read that and I was like, that's pretty good. So, it goes back to, am I a servant person or am I a self-fulfilling person?
Yeah. Which one are you? Describe your leadership style.
Man. No.
Well, let me ask this question. So can you think of a time in which you allow your ego and pride to hinder your assignment or your calling, or hinder just any functioning of yourself in helping someone else?
Yep, I would say whenever I first started out with Speak to My Heart, I think it took me, I would say probably a good 3 to 4 months to actually launch it, because as far as my ego goes and the zero defect mentality that I have to succeed, I can't fail at this, that held me back from actually going out there and just being great, just saying, hey, let it go. To me, I think God was like, hey, there's people out there that need help, and you just sitting on the bench, riding the bench is not helping nobody. And that's basically what I was doing, because I didn't feel that I was ready. And so I should have started 3 or 4 months before I did, but I was trying to make sure I wanted to make sure the website was up. I wanted to make sure this was right. I wanted to make sure that, but at the end of the day, who cares about all that? If I looked at the traffic that's going to the website right now, it probably ain't going to be that much. But at the same time, how many people am I actually helping? And so that'll be one of the times I can say that my ego did jump in the way.
I know for me, it's like, starting private practice and feeling like, oh, I can't do this because, even though I've been in clinical setting for a while, trying to launch something that's imposter syndrome, like, do I have the skill set? Am I just really confident? Do I expect it to, like, I need to know everything, like every therapy modality, to fit every circumstance. I'm going to work with hundreds of different disorders, so I had to this will all come as I put things into practice. But yeah, edging God out, because if I know this is my calling and I'm on assignment, so I have to realize this is just not me. It's the God in me that's leading and directing. And I don't think me and Maranthony was trying to preach today, but it's the God in me. I was about to bust the club move in there, but
yet again, this is unscripted, y'all. This is what happens. Hey, Carlos want to know, can you give me the name of that book again?
Yes, it is called Lead Like Jesus Revisited. And Ken Blanchard, he writes a lot of books on leadership and just from a biblical perspective.
And Miss Ann said, wow, that's a word, just do it. People are waiting for you. And then paraphrase. And the biggest thing was, and I think that's what, go back to the ego, that was one of my biggest things, is that I had to get out of my own head. And I think a lot of people, that's the problem with us holding ourselves back. Whenever we say, oh, there's an obstacle in our way, you are the obstacle. So if you move out your own way, guess what happens? It's there. And, you know, a lot of people want to sit and wait on somebody else. That's another big thing. Because are they waiting on that confirmation from somebody? How you were saying, sometimes it's us or it could be somebody that's putting something in your head. Well, if they sitting up there waiting on somebody else to give them that confirmation, then they might be sitting up there waiting a while. Carlos put it in here. Can ego be confused with self-esteem?
Low self-esteem, high self-esteem. It can be, because to me, esteem is a confidence level. So it can be if there's high. Let me take that back.
He said high self-esteem.
No, because esteem. How can I separate that? Let me think about that just for a second. Was Miss Ann saying she said wash hands, my hands look?
No, she was probably talking about the dance.
Oh. I was thinking rub hands like Birdman.
So, you know, to go back to Carlos, can ego be confused with self-esteem? To me, self-esteem is something that's, I think it can be almost used comparably, because to me, self-esteem is something that how I look and view myself, and my ego is almost the same thing. But with the self-esteem, whether it's high or low, it's how I'm gonna interact with somebody else. And sometimes the ego isn't like that. The ego is just something that's gonna be like, to me, and the way I used it in that earlier thing was, oh, she said sorry, she had posted the wrong item. So to me, whenever I use that example of going back to say, I didn't start this business because of this right here, that wasn't really self-esteem. That was my ego of me not wanting to fail. The self-esteem portion of it is, will I be able to be effective to somebody else? And I know me, yes, I can be effective to somebody. So my ego as well as holding me back from the failure or succeeding within the business.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I can see where we both need, I think, a healthy dose of both ego and esteem. Yes. Because those are motivating factors. Those are motivating traits. That's the things that we tap into that, you know, moves us, shifts us forward, helps us to keep pace, you know, build momentum. I think a healthy dose is needed. So
and I think a healthy dose of pride is needed too. And whenever I was telling you about the story that I wrote, because you remember back in the day, you know, your parents would send you to school, and the first thing they tell you is, hey, however you act out there, this represents me. So make sure you got your pants up, make sure you look good, make sure you're talking right. If you see somebody, yes ma'am, no ma'am, yes sir, no sir, you know. And to me, that right there goes along with the pride portion of it. Now, whenever the second portion of that pride is whenever I'm sitting up there looking at somebody else, and now I'm thinking I'm bigger and better than they are. So, you know, that's the opposite side of it. And that's when, to me, that ego come in. Oh, I got my master's degree, I got my doctorate degree, and you don't have anything. So does that make you better than me in any type of way?
There's plenty of educated fools. So.
Ain't it though? Ain't it though? Hey, show enough.
Yeah. So yeah, I think there should be a healthy balance of pride, ego, esteem. I think without pride, you know, there would not be an opportunity for humility, right? for us to experience it.
True. That is true. Let's see. Say, I agree. Need a little of them all, but too much of anything is bad. That's true.
Yeah, gluttony.
So is that the same with love? Too much love is a bad thing?
Well, I guess you have to consider the source, where it's coming from.
Well, because they always put that term out there and say too much of anything is bad. So, I was just wondering. I guess it's for the person who's actually doing all the loving. I guess that would be bad because you get used up.
Yeah, pouring into someone else and not getting anything in return. Oh, I don't want to say anything in return, but like that transfer of energy and love. Like you don't want to deplete yourself too much.
Carlos put he thinks so. Yeah, I mean I do too. It was just a little question, That just leads me to another book, Fill My Bucket. That's a good book to read whenever you start thinking about pouring yourself and other things into other people. Especially if you have that self mentality and you want to switch over to like a servant mind frame. That Fill My Bucket is a great book to read that tells you, or I won't say tell you, but it allows you to re-examine yourself to find out, am I pouring enough into somebody else so I can fill my own self up? So, too much love will kill. So I guess that's why all the people are in jail right now whenever they had too much love for somebody, huh?
Snapped. What will I do for my man? just a couple of shows I've been watching. Yeah.
Can you? What's that? Lifetime? Yeah, get off Lifetime.
I know. Somebody asked, like, how would you like to relax for today? And I was like, just to be curled up on the couch with some comfort food and Lifetime Movie Network.
See, there you go. There it is. There it is. Hey y'all, we starting to reach that. Got about 15 minutes left in the show, so we would really want you to continue to make your comments and posters. But right now, we're gonna throw a little plug in here. Steph, you got your friend you want to shout out?
Yeah, I just want to shout out our, community member, Miss Lisa Gordon. She shared a week ago that she was entering into school, getting her master's for social work. So I was like, big props to her, just, getting back into school and, realizing her potential or her calling. So yeah, she's on assignment. So awesome. Just wanted to say give kudos to Lisa.
Right on. And but oh, did you have something? Okay. I thought you just gonna go and say something. No, and that's one thing about the community is like if something good happened to you, especially if you're part of the community, please let us know. I mean, this is what it's all about. So with that being said, it's that we want to showcase everybody else's business. And I don't call it small business. I don't like that term. I just call it business because, we always start talking about speaking life to our stuff. So I'm not going to say it's small. Unless you want to keep it small, that's your business. I think everybody wants their stuff to grow and matriculate. So that's why I say, it ain't small. So here, hold up for a minute. All right, so it is our business time. We had a few people that reached out to us, told us, hey, we're doing some great things in our business and we want to get shouted out. So let me pull it up. I'll run a couple of websites across the bottom of across the bottom, so you can go and look them up. And I can tell you right now, we shouted out Megan last week. She's a candle maker, and I can tell you, I have received my own from her, and they really do smell pretty good. So her business is called Moxie Scented Candles, and she's located in Ramstein, Germany. She sells scented soy wax items like container candles, pillar candles, and wax melts. She also makes her own coasters out of plaster. She do her best to be eco-conscious. She launched in August, and even though there have been ups and downs and lots of trial and error, she is very happy in how it's going. So if you would like to order some candles for her, Christmas is coming up, people. Just saying. You know, there it is right there. You go and check out our website, and that's it, scrolling across. Also, we have somebody that we had on the show once before, my cousin, Angel. She's part of the Flourish and Hope Counseling. She is a licensed professional counselor and life coach based in Texas. She offers life coaching sessions worldwide. She helps women live more peaceful, courageous lives by teaching self-love, increasing self-confidence, and diminishing fear. She is a renowned author. She's written a few books and some journals, so please go and check her website out. And we have Shane, and Shane has the Profit First Taxes. Shane offers the tax and accounting services. They help entrepreneurs with paying themselves the correct amount of wages, help with budgeting, assist in scaling their business beyond 6 and 7 figures, all while keeping you in compliance with legal loopholes. The best part about it is virtual, so you'll never have to leave home, your business, or vacation. And if you want more information, please go over there to the Profit First Taxes website.
And I think she offers services overseas and across the states, right?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I mentioned that last week. And I'm telling you, being a business owner is one of the biggest things that you need somebody like that in your corner, especially somebody that's going that know what they're doing.
Oh yeah, because entrepreneurship and business ownership is two different beasts. We can have our LLCs and all this, but to be business owners, you have to keep on top of, paperwork, tax, all of that good stuff. So,
because if not, IRS will be coming knocking on your door.
I'm on payment plans now.
And our last one is from Adriana. She's an esthetician and lash artist who does makeup application from natural to glam, waxing and skincare in the Memphis area. So if you are in the Memphis area and you're watching this, or maybe you plan on traveling here, she is promoting wellness and self-care at reasonable cost while making it convenient for others by providing a serene space or being mobile and coming to you. She also does bridal parties, homecoming, prom, etc. And then her contact information is scrolling down below. So there it is, people.
Yeah.
So if you are a business owner and you would like to be featured on the show to get your information out there, please, Small Business Saturdays, get in there.
Carlos.
I can really see y'all being on TV. Y'all make a good team. You know what? I don't even like her.
And I make him look pretty. I make him look good. Okay.
Hey, I'm not gonna complain with that.
Okay.
I don't know why you got to point stuff out like that, but that's fine.
Thank you, Carlos.
Yeah, sure enough. Hey, but you know what? I think we're coming up on our little hour time frame. I think next week's show this should be the last of this series right here, Who Am I series, and we're gonna probably touch on a little bit on why do you choose the people you choose, and this could be relationship wise, this could be friendship wise, this could be job wise. It doesn't matter. Why do you choose the things that you choose? And I think that's gonna be a really good one right there. And I hope everybody, go in there Whenever we post a question out there, you put it in there. And then even if you don't put it in there, please come on the show. Like I said, you can call in. You can do it on Messenger, however you want to get the information to us, or even if you want to be on the show, let us know. And I think that's gonna be it could be a touchy topic for people, because we can go back into some type of trauma. We can just be that pride and ego type thing.
Mm-hmm. Or just posing the question. You're gonna have folks looking at they circle this week like, why are you here? Who sent you? Like, no. Need to disconnect.
Hey, scissors are a good thing. They are good. Scissors.
Sometimes them scissors ain't sharp enough. Sometimes you need other tools. Chainsaw. Like, I talk to my clients all the time about the difference in feeling connected and feeling tethered. It's a difference. Connected is you're wanting to be here. Tethered is pulling somebody along. It's like you can't come undone. You can't, a connectedness is a want. So tethered means more of the responsibility of bringing someone along. That's just my thought, but that may not be what other people think. But.
Hey, you already got it. You already got next week's show going. Carlos put on here. He is a little facially challenged. Thank you, sir. Hey, I'd rather be facially challenged than being called plump or big or no neck or something like that. So I'll go with that. I
think we looking like like those that throwback of LL Cool J and Eve.
Wow, really? That's how you gonna put us out there, huh?
I was just like, I always used to mess with you. Look at LL. But maybe you should wear the Kango next week.
Oh, I got the chain too, man.
Okay. Let's not do that. Oh. It's time to end the show.
I know. Hey, Carlos. Carlos put on here. He needs somebody who knows how to write a business plan. Hey, I got you. But if anybody else would like to help Carlos out with this business plan thing, please let him know. But I got some information for you that I can give to you. Hey, I speak to my heart like coach, man. We anchored in real life, so entrepreneurship. I'm there to help you out. Business, I'm here to help you out. So I got you. So let's go ahead and wrap this on up, Stephanie.
All right.
What you got?
I got a little quote. It says, destroy your illusions so you can see reality. Destroy your fears so you can take risks. Destroy your ego so you can see life. You got to step outside of yourself. So, and what you got?
Is that like an out-of-body experience?
Whatever you need to do for disassociation is real. Yeah.
So what I got for you is ego is the only requirement to destroy any relationship. So be a bigger person and skip the E and let it go.
Let it go.
Let it go. Let it go. Sometimes you just gotta. You know what? I didn't warm up before I did that.
You know what? I think we should, like, part of our show we should have some little jingle. We need to come up with us a little jingle.
I'll let you come up with that. How about that?
Okay. If I come up with the jingle, you're gonna have to come up with the dance.
Oh, that's easy. That's easy. Easy day. Easy day. All right, here I'm gonna leave y'all with this one right here. Make today the day you feel that sense of pride or deep satisfaction by eliminating your ego and clasping the hand of someone that is reaching up for help and assisting them by pulling them up so they can achieve their dreams and goals as well. And with that being said, any parting words for you?
See you next week. Look forward to next week.
And guess what? We out of here.
All right. Yeah, I'll be